Hey, brand builder. Welcome to this special recap edition of the Influential Personal Brand. We are talking about our top 3 takeaways from this interview with my very good friend, Michael Stelzner, from Social Media Marketing World.
Which you'll be speaking at.
Which I will be speaking at if you missed that in the interview. It's an amazing, really amazing event. And so I'll let AJ kick us off. We had the same kind of 3 big takeaways, so we're gonna really nail those for you.
Yeah, so and a lot of our different interviews, you will hear much discussion around social media as it pertains to your personal brand. And one of the most fascinating things that I really thought was, fascinating about this interview with Michael Stelzner is how he talked about how organic reach on social media is dead.
Oh,
way to just
oh, dead. It's dead.
But I thought it was really cool how he talked about how most people don't associate YouTube as a traditional social media site, and that YouTube actually offers really unique algorithms to play your videos based on who clicks on it, who actually watches it, how long they watch it, and then what they do after they watch it, and then will actually promote your video to more of people on YouTube
who don't
based
know
on
you.
Those things, whereas other social media sites will not do that. And that was a really interesting thing, how he talked about, hey, if you're going to go all in, like, don't forget YouTube is still a thing. And since it's been video based and everything else is going video based, they were kind of way ahead of the curve there. And then just the whole concept of all these different things that people are talking about constantly to grow your organic reach. And he's there going, well, good luck.
Yeah. Although
good luck.
I thought that was a good, like YouTube is interesting. It's not really kind of classically social media.
But yet it is.
But it is. Yeah. And it's, I never really put that together, that YouTube is the only platform that really shows your content aggressively to people who aren't your subscribers. And I think, a big part of this message there was just extending your reach outside of social media. So you got to be getting people off social media, which we've been talking about always. You cannot be dependent upon social media. You've got to get those people off of social media and onto your email list, onto your podcast, which he talked a lot about, was focusing on his podcast. And then also text message. Now, you see a lot of the big players moving aggressively into the text message opt-in space as well. So you got to, it's like you can't not be on social media, but don't depend on that.
Don't think that. Well, we say this quite a bit is, you can be Twitter rich and dollar poor. And I think that's a lot of what he was saying. It's like, it's not that you shouldn't do it. It's just don't think that most of your sales and conversions are going to happen because of your social media reach. And this is a kind of something that you brought up just very quickly there, but he talks about his email list.
Yeah. So this is the second thing, in addition to organic reach basically being dead, was how important email still to this day, how important email is to him.
Well, he shared classified information about his own sales.
Classified.
Private.
Just between him and us and
all of you.
Several millions of you.
Yes, several millions of you. But I love this because you hear from marketers all the time that email is dead. Email is dead. Well,
no,
not so much. He said that's how much 60 to 70% of his sales
70%
come from email marketing. What?
Crazy.
That is a lot. And then he was like, but we don't send 1 or 2 emails. We have 6 months of promotion with a team of 20 that are leading up to his big event, which is his primary business model, which is coming up in just a few months. But we're talking about 60 to 70% of a very healthy multi-million-dollar business coming from email marketing, which a lot of those leads thus came from their podcast and all these other arenas. But I think that is just something that, at least with our clients, we hear a lot about. It's like when we ask them about their email list, it's not very big. And it doesn't get a lot of attention and a lot of focus on how do you capture emails. It's more about how do you get followers and how do you get engagement on social media. And we forget the real way of monetizing all of those people that you're spending all this time, money, and resource to attracting on social is actually getting their email so that you can market to them regardless of what these independent platforms are doing. And when their algorithm changes, your contacts don't.
Yeah.
So it's just the power of email and email marketing, which we promote, but it was so good to hear some real numbers and real results from somebody
That's
that
so
is
big.
a force to be reckoned with in this space.
And I think for one of the big light bulbs that came on for me that I had never really thought about was that he sends 60 to 70 emails just promoting this one event. And in my mind, I go, well, I would never want to send that many emails to my list. They'd get burned out. Like they'd get sick of hearing it. And he said, no. You don't just promote the event 60 or 70 times. You take one aspect of the event and you highlight it and you teach something about that one little aspect. And I was thinking about our events, how, most of our events are divided into 6 main sections over 2 days. It's like we could send one email for each of those 6 sections and talk about, here's one great tip, and then here's all the things you'll learn about this section at the event. And people don't feel like they're just getting bombarded, because they're not just getting bombarded. They're getting educational, useful information as a way of also learning about why they should buy and why they should come to the event.
Good news for all of you, and thanks to Michael Stelzner, all of our clients will now be getting 10 times the amount of emails that they're currently getting. Prepare yourself. Set up a rule to put us all in the folder. The emails are coming. But yeah, I know that's such a great point. It's not that they're all promotional, but it's breaking down each speaker, each segment, each takeaway, each special event.
Useful.
It's being useful and educational, but 60 to 70 compared to our 6 or 7.
Yeah.
We got some email writing to do.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then the last thing to me was just his whole mindset about how he thought about events. And AJ really highlighted, share the big takeaway that you had from that, because I liked the parallel that he said that you really latched onto about the book.
Oh yeah, he said that a live event is kind of like having a book. You don't really make money at it, but it's all the spin-off that you get from that book or from that live event that you make money on. Like we say a lot, a book is just a really big business card, and you're not going to make, most aren't going to make your entire fortune from, or a living even from your book. But what you will do is it will raise your cachet and your credibility and your awareness to a level that you can charge more. So you get more speaking or training or consulting. You get booked more to do this. You get the sponsorships and the ads, and you get all the things that come along with having a book, and especially a best-selling book. But maybe it's not the book that's going to make you money. He's saying the exact same thing happens with a big event.
There's a good way of thinking about it, and I've never really thought about it that way. I think you can. I think a book is a good parallel, because you can make money. It's not that you can't make money. It's just that you're probably not going to make your riches from events. They are a step on the path. And then where he said you actually make the money was from the recordings.
Yeah. The things you sell at the event.
At the event.
Recordings was an option, but it's it's like I've gone to several Tony Robbins events. To even have the mindset of how much money you spend to go into an event. It's not that. It's they're selling coaching, right? They're selling their training program. They're selling their mastermind. Right. It's all the things you sell at the event.
Yeah. And in our case, our primary model, like our primary service offering, includes events. And we actually include the recordings for our monthly members that come with it. So I thought, it's interesting. I think we're doing events very different from everybody too. Is we're not just
because we're not trying to make money off.
We're not trying to make. We're just.
Well, it very much proves his point.
Yeah, well, there's always next steps for people and stuff. But anyways, the last little thing I wanted to highlight that was on this event topic was that he said that having a big name speaker won't make your event unless it's Rory Vaden that you hire to come keynote. Other than Rory Vaden as your keynote speaker,
the mouth of Michael Stelzner.
A big name is not going to make the event. I think a lot of people don't understand that. They would think differently.
I agree. And I think there's a couple of things. If you are in the business of hosting live events, or you think you want to host live events, even if they're small workshops, this is a must listen to interview. Yeah. And then if you think that if you get this big name and they will come, he is saying, not really. So maybe a small percentage, he said, but not enough to pay for the expense of it. And we actually know other people who have spent really big money, and they end up losing a lot of money on their event because that name didn't attract as much as it needed to for the expense. But in general, it's like you don't want to not have big name people. Just don't think that's going to be what makes your event.
It's not going to save you.
It's not going to save you. That's
Yep.
a good way of saying it.
It's not
It was
gonna-
a great interview. And if you're in the live event business in any capacity, you've got to listen
Absolute
to this.
must. And podcasting and social, and you can check out the event. We'll put links to that. I am speaking in social media marketing world this year, which is great. And so, yeah, there's a lot of insights from a very big powerhouse, one of the godfathers of the industry. Check out the full interview. And as always, stay tuned here for your top 3 and 3 from myself and AJ. We'll catch you next time on The Influential Personal Brand.